Now, an issue that's related to once or more than once or how many times did something happen is the issue of chronic abuse. When a child has been abused repeatedly over and over again in much the same manner, it creates a recollection issue for kids. They may not be able to separate one incident from any other incident. It was too similar. We've talked about this in the past when we talked about memory issues earlier in this class, but it's coming up right now, and you may recall this kind of memory where the child doesn't remember any particular incident discretely or separately is called script memory. And in child maltreatment, unfortunately, it's common. So when a child remembers using script memory, it'll usually sound something like this. Well, he goes in my room, and then he'll go in the closet and he'll get that rubbery thing out, and what they're telling you is that's the way he usually does it. You see, when they're talking like that in the present tense, when they're talking about it in that manner, they're talking about it almost always using script memory, the way he usually does it. And the law requires a little bit more here. The way he usually does it is helpful, and it could be the basis for holding someone accountable. But what we want to do is find out if there are any incidents that are different from any others. They may not be. He may have done it in almost the same way over and over again for months or years, and he never varied. But it's unlikely. It's unlikely. So it's okay to tell the child to tell me how it usually happened. That's fine. But you want to be sure that you're clear and she's clear or he's clear that they're talking about the way it usually happened. And once you're done with that, you should follow up by asking about whether it ever happened different. And I've had a lot of experience with these cases, and I can suggest to you, if it happened for a long time, if this chronic abuse lasted months or even years, it's almost certain that it happened a different way or in a different place. So you might want to say to the child, you know, Danielle, you told me how it usually happened. He would come up to your bedroom, mom would be working, your brother and sister would finally fall asleep. You told me how it usually happened, and you said it usually happened in your bedroom. Did it ever happen someplace else in the house? Did it ever happen someplace else? You said you spent summers at grandma's. Did it ever happen at grandma's? Did it ever happen a different way? You said he would come in your room, he'd put his mouth on your chest, he'd put his fingers on your vagina. Did he ever do it in a different way? You see, you're trying to pull out something that's discrete and different and memorable. And if this went on for a long time, almost always the perpetrator did it some other place. Maybe they took a ride in a truck, maybe they were down the shore, maybe he did something different. Maybe he varied from the typical script. And if it went on a long time, rest assured he varied. And then if you find an incident, if he says, well, you know, one time it happened on Thanksgiving when he took me to go get bread in the truck. Well, that's a specific, discrete, perhaps one-time incident. You can question the child and pull for details there, and you can get details about that specific incident. And you can find out as much as you can, and that will provide the basis for additional charges and additional accountability